So time to start, dear students. Good evening, everyone. And today we are going to just continue from where we left out last time. I am going to share my screen very soon. And just a minute, I'll just switch off the annotations for others. Yeah. So as usual, you just tell me in the chat whether this, whatever is written topics, more examples of ladder if is visible properly. Just tell me on the chat. Yes. Okay. Thank you. So, what is the plan for the day? We will resume exactly from where we stopped on Wednesday. See, we were learning about ladder if. Recall? If, then else if, then else if, else if, else if, and finally else. That last else did not have if. So, we'll learn more examples of ladder if, programming examples. Then I will tell you about nested if. Actually, ladder if itself is nested if, but we are going to see a special case of nested if where there is a if and inside that there is another if. Right now, what we have learned, if, then else if, else if, else if. We write that as elif. Recall elif. So we'll learn nested if. Then I will introduce for loop today, the another control structure, and while loop. Okay, when we are learning for loop, we'll learn a very interesting word called range. This word is very interesting. Range. Okay. So actually the topic is for loop, but we are going to more concentrate on this word today, range. And then while loop is very friendly. Trust me. Very nice loop given by Python. Okay. So let's start. As usual, I will not go to chat very early. Keep listening. And whatever doubts you have, you put it on the chat. I will read that chat after around 10 to 15 minutes. And I will encourage you to ask more doubts. So here we go. See, this was the example which we saw exactly. This was the example which we saw last example on Wednesday night. Finding largest between three numbers. A, B, C are the three integers entered by the operator. And we want to know who is the largest. And I had shown you two versions of this. In the first version, just switch off the cam and yeah, okay. In the first version, what we saw is we were checking whether A is greater than B and A is greater than C. Then A is largest. But we saw when we wrote only greater than, there was a mistake. This was a mistake. When we wrote only greater than, then whenever there was a tie, two numbers were equal, then output was not coming properly. So we modified it by writing greater than or equal to operator. And this was an example of ladder if. You note if, elif, then else. Okay. So I'm not revising this problem again, but let's go to the next example. Here we go. Example 6. Question is write a program to input coordinates of some point x comma y and find the quadrant in which the point lies. Okay. So just note what we are supposed to input. We have this two-dimensional plane, xy plane. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. And we have to input some point. Maybe that point we enter is 2.5, 1.6. Maybe. So this is x1, this is y1. That means we have to input the value of x1 and y1. Two values we have to input. And then our program should print whether the point is in first quadrant. This is first quadrant, everybody knows. This is second, this is third, and this is fourth. In which quadrant the point lies. So you all know the rules that if x1, sorry, xx, I'm so sorry. The naming is x comma y. I named it as x 1, y1. Okay. X comma y. So you know the rule. If both are positive, x and y, that is greater than 0, then the point lies in the first quadrant. But what if both are not positive? Suppose the operator enters the point like this. You see, the point is -4 and 4. That is minus 4.0, 4.0. So x is negative, but y is positive. Then second quadrant. I hope you got the idea, correct? So what is the condition for this quadrant? X greater than 0 and y greater than 0. You will have if statement for this. Both should be positive, greater than, not even 0, exactly 0 also. Both should be positive. What will be the condition for this quadrant? X less than 0 and y greater than 0. X is negative, but y is positive. So second quadrant. What will be the condition for this third quadrant? Both are negative, isn't it? X is less than 0 and y is also less than 0. And what about fourth? X is greater than 0 and y is less than 0. X is positive, but y is negative. Y is negative. You might be thinking that the fourth quadrant, that fourth quadrant need not be checked. It can be written in final else. I hope you are understanding that if point is in first quadrant, no, then LF. LF. Point is in second quadrant, no, then LF. Else if I mean. LF means else if. Point is in third quadrant, no, then why to check fourth quadrant? If it is not in any of the quadrant, then directly print it is in fourth quadrant. But we have another plan. See, we will check whether the point is in fourth quadrant also. If it is not in the fourth quadrant, then we will check whether the point lies on x-axis. It can happen. What if operator enters point like this? You watch. This is the point entered, which is 3.0, comma 0. Tell me, isn't it a valid point? That means x is 3.0, but y is 0. Then where is this point lying? Is it lying in any quadrant? No, it is on x-axis. This also we will check. Correct? Similarly, if the point entered by the user is like this, you see, minus 3.0, comma 0. That is x is negative, but y is 0. X is negative, but y is 0. Then where is the point? X-axis. Are you understanding? That means for the point to lie on x-axis, x should not be equal to 0. X should not be 0, but y should be 0. So what is the condition you will write for this x-axis? Correct? X should be not equal to 0 and y should be 0, exactly 0. Not equal to, you got it? Not equal to. It can be positive, x can be positive, x can be negative, but it can't be 0. No. And y should be 0. Then it is on x-axis. Are you then following that we'll write condition for y-axis also? And you got the condition. What is the condition for y-axis? If x is 0 and y is not equal to 0. For example, if the operator enters this point, you see here, 0, comma, let's say minus 8.5. See, y is negative, but x is 0. That means y is not equal to 0, but x is equal to 0. Then it is on y-axis. Correct? And what if all this is false? All the ifs are false. Then you will write final else. And you will say, now the point is on origin. If the user enters x as 0 and y also as 0, 0, comma 0, he enters or she enters, then the point is on origin. So all possibilities we have checked. So we'll have a very big nested if, correct? And it will be fun to watch. LF, repeatedly. Yeah, good evening, good evening. So let's go to Python idle, okay? I hope you understood the problem. In which quadrant the point lies? We have to input x and we have to input y. Okay. So I'll just maximize the screen and say file, new file. Let's type a new program. I'll just maximize this also. So what are we supposed to enter? X equal to float. Float is better, isn't it? Input, enter value of X coordinate. One more close bracket. Okay. I'll just copy paste this. And Y is equal to float input, enter value of Y coordinate. So the point is entered. Now we will write if X is greater than 0 and should be there, isn't it? Not or, because both should be greater than 0. Y greater than 0. If this is true, then we will print first quadrant. First quadrant. Okay. But now what if this is false? That means both are not greater than 0. Then we will have to check for some other condition, isn't it? Because the point then lies in some other quadrant. Then we will hit backspace, come below if, and then we will write elif. So if the first condition is false, then check is X less than 0 and Y is greater than 0. So X is less than 0, but Y is positive. Then it is on second quadrant. Correct? So I'll just copy this. Okay. Oh, this has got bad indentation. I copied. Just check. This is bad indentation. How did I know this is bad indentation? You see, this if statement had print over here. Obviously, this if statement should also have print just below that. So I'll hit a backspace. Okay. Put it properly. Okay. So this is second quadrant. Otherwise, we would have got error, indentation error. Okay, let me try something. I don't want to type so much. So I'll copy this entire part, LF. Because rest of the conditions are quite similar. Oh, that looks good. So what if these two conditions are false? Then we'll check for third quadrant. The third quadrant is X should be less than 0 and Y also should be less than 0. I hope you got it. Then it is third quadrant. Correct? Okay, I'll hit backspace and again paste whatever I have copied. LF. Now, when does the point lie on fourth quadrant? If X is positive but Y is negative. So X should be greater than 0. But Y should be less than 0. Then point is on fourth quadrant. Fourth quadrant. Okay, again copy paste. Now we will check for x-axis. See, if the point is on x-axis, then x should not be equal to 0, but y should be 0. That is why it is on x-axis. Y is 0. It is neither above nor below. Na? Okay. So how are you going to write that? X should not be equal to 0. Not equal to 0 is exclamation equal to. And y should be exactly 0. Exactly 0, how you are going to write? Double equal to. Understood? So please try to understand these exercises, I am taking not only for revision of nested if or ladder if, but also we come to know more and more about these operators, anding, oring, and all that. Okay. So now we are into fourth quadrant. Oh, I'm sorry, on x-axis. I'm so sorry. X-axis. Point lies on x-axis. We could have given better message. Point lies on x-axis, but we have given x-axis. Okay. Then else if, let's see for y-axis. For y-axis, x should be 0, but y should not be 0. That means y can be positive side, negative side. It is not 0, but x is 0, correct? Then it is on y-axis. Point lies on y-axis. And else, last else we will write. Now, if none of them is true, then definitely user has entered 0, 0. What do you say? Then here we will say print on origin. Point is on origin. That's it. And after that, we have finished. We don't have to do anything else. We just were asked to check in which quadrant the point lies. So I'll save this with my favorite name, trial. I'm overwriting the same program again and again so that I don't have cluster of files. You may save it with some name on your PC, like name given to this program may be quadrant.py. Like that you can save so that later on you can read that program again. Okay, so let's run this. And I will give x coordinate as minus 3.5 and y coordinate as 0. X is minus 3.5, y is 0. Then definitely the output should be x axis. Correct. And the program is working. What I want all of you to understand, is that small speech I am giving. Usually I don't do that, but sometimes I give speech. So we programmers always like to read and understand the program rather than type the program. Please try to understand. We have gathered here not to become very good typists. I hope you will agree. We don't want to become very good typists. We want to become programmer. And programmer is good only if he or she can read the program and understand that how the control will flow, for which input, where the control will go. If you develop that skill, and let's say your friend one day prepares a program and brings to you and says, what do you say about this program? You should be able to read the program and understand. It's not that you'll say, wait, I will switch on my laptop, I will type your program and then check. Then, we have not become good readers. So in this class, your teacher will always entertain all of you to become good readers of the program. So imagine x given by you was minus 3.5 and y is 0. Minus 3.5, 0. So the first condition is minus 3.5 greater than 0? False. There itself the condition is false. Minus 3.5 is the value of x. It is not greater than 0. Then we will land in else if, because and is used, so this becomes false. So we land in second question. Is minus 3.5 less than 0? Yes. So x is negative. And is 0, remember y is 0. You have given y as 0. Is 0 greater than 0? That is false. 0 greater than 0 is false. So point is not in the second quadrant. So we land in else if. Now x given is minus 3.5. Remember, minus 3.5, and it is less than 0. And y less than 0. We are asking, is y less than 0? No, y is exactly 0. 0 less than 0 is false. So this also goes. Then else if. Is minus 3.5 greater than 0? False. So no question about it. And has been used. So the condition becomes false. Then we land in this else if. Is minus 3.5 not equal to 0? Yes. Minus 3.5 is not equal to 0. And is y exactly equal to 0? Yes. Both conditions are true. So we will get the output x-axis. And then once one of these ladder ifs become true, then the rest of the ladder is if simply dropped. It does not run. Control comes out. This is the way you put some value of x and y and read it 4 or 5 times with various types of inputs to understand the control. Okay. So I hope you liked this question. More such interesting questions are coming up. Anything you want to ask or add in this? Maybe. I'm just waiting for your comment. Maybe. If I hope that everything is okay with this. You all have understood why this LF is written and all that. Okay. So, shall we proceed to the next question now? Again, a very good example of ladder if. But progressively it gets developed. Okay. Okay. So I'll go to Blackboard. Okay, there is somebody on chat. Time complexity, you are asking. Okay, because you have asked, I will tell you that the time complexity of this program that we wrote is big O of 1. It's constant time. Because Because the entire nested if, can be thought of as a constant time. Uh, just in 2 minutes, I will tell. Imagine that operator enters x as 0 and y also as 0. Both are 0. Then one might say that this if is checked. Oh, some checking is done. Then this if is also checked. Second if, this is also false. Then third if is checked. This is also false. Fourth is checked, false again. Fifth is checked, false. Sixth is checked, false. And then this statement runs on origin. Both are 0. So you may say, okay, that means 6 operations are getting done. 6 times the if is checked. Correct. But you tell me in worst case, how many times the if will be checked? 6 times. And in best case, only once. You are lucky both you are given are positive, x and y, then it will print it is in first quadrant. And in worst case, how many ifs will be checked? 6. So in complexity of algorithm, you will not write like this. You just check that in the best it is O1 and in the worst it is O6. It's constant. Always it will be 6. Then you write O1. It is constant time algorithm. Okay. That means any value of x and y you enter, maximum 6 computations, 6 ifs are checked. So it is constant time algorithm. I hope I have answered your question. Others, just ignore this question because this is from some other subject. Okay. This is from algorithm analysis, data structures, and so on. Okay. So here is the next one. Just read and try to understand what are the inputs necessary to be given and all that. Question is, write a program to input center coordinates x comma y of a circle. What that means is, we have to input this center. What is the value of x? What is the value of y? And we have to also enter radius r of the circle. So r has to be entered, radius. Then the question says, enter coordinates of any point x1, y1. This is printing mistake or typing mistake, x1, y1. Because x comma y is already used for center. So some point is there, x1, y1. That coordinates we have to input. And then we have to find whether the point lies inside, outside, or on the circle. Please, I will pause for my discussion just for 30 seconds. Think about it. How will you solve this? Today attendance is low. I don't know what happened. Yeah, distance, correct. Yeah. So what are the things you have to input? Tell me. Input what? Input x comma y, then input the radius, then input x1 comma y1. All these things you will have to enter. Then you find out the distance between the center and this point using your distance formula, square root of x minus x1 the whole square, correct, plus y minus y1 the whole square. And then you compare this d with r. If d is greater than r, then the point is outside. If d is less than r, then the point is inside. Otherwise, it is on the circle. Correct? Okay. Have you then graphs what is to be entered? X, y, r, x1, y1. Center coordinates xy, then radius and x1, y1. And then we have to calculate d, distance. Once we know distance between center and the point, then we can know by comparing distance with radius. If distance is greater than radius, then point is outside. If distance is less than radius, then point is inside. Otherwise, no need to check. Point is on the origin. Okay. So do you see nested if here, ladder if? Yes. When we are comparing D with R, you can see ladder if. Okay. So I will go to trial. this, and I'll overwrite this program itself. See, first time entering center, X is input, X coordinate of center. Then Y is input, Y coordinate of center of center. Then we have to input radius. R is equal to float, input, enter, radius. One more input we have taken. Now we have to input x1, y1, that point. Okay. So I'll just copy paste this. Here we go. X1 is float, input, enter, x1 coordinate of the point. And this is enter y1 coordinate of the point. Okay. Now we will find distance. How do you find distance? Math.sqrt. We are finding distance between x comma y and x1 comma y1, 2 points. So D is equal to math.sqrt. Don't worry, we will include math. Your import math has to be written, remember. Math.sqrt of what? Bracket x minus x1 raised to 2. I hope you got this. Plus y minus y1 raised to 2. Bracket. This was last bracket was for sqrt. Just check. This is center coordinate x and this is x1 of x coordinate of that point. So this is x minus x1 the whole square plus y minus y1 the whole square, the whole thing given in the square root. Okay. And then we will compare if this distance is greater than radius, colon, then we'll put print, it is outside. I'll write only outside. You can write the point is outside the circle in the quotation. Okay. Then backspace, LF, D less than R. If D is less than R, then definitely the point is inside. So print, I'll put inside. Okay. And what if both are false? Then point is on the circle. So last tells will give, and will give print on the circle. Done. And after this, we have nothing to do because we were only asked to check where does the point lie. And now we will import math. We will not forget doing that. Import math library so that we are allowed to use sqrt. We know everything about this. We have learned in the past lectures why math.sqrt and what is the why we import math. Although we have not learned detail about import, but I told you that we will learn about this when we learn a chapter called module. Okay. Okay, I'll save this and run this. Okay, what is the input you will give? I told you, don't give any input. Okay. Think of a test case. Don't give center as 5.8, 9.3 is the center. Radius as 16. And some point you enter. How do you know whether your program is giving correct answer or not? So think of a test case. You just check. If I run this code, then I would give like this. You see, this is my x and y axis. I will give center as 0, 0. What do you say? And the circle has radius 1. I will give r as 1. R is 1. Unit circle. Correct? And then I will give a point. I will give a point 2, 0. X is 2, y is 0. Clearly, this point is outside the circle. So for these inputs, note this is x, y, this is x1, y1, and r is 1. For these inputs, I should get outside the circle as the output. So don't give any arbitrary input, correct? Think of a test case. Okay. Now, in that case, if I run this code and x coordinate of the center 0, y coordinate of the center 0, radius 1, that is 1.0. We have given float. We know all this now. Okay. And what about that point? will give x is 2, 2.0 and y is 0 outside. Correct? Whereas if we run this code with all these things as it is, but the point we give here 0.5 comma 0, that is, this is x1 and this is y1, then it should be inside, isn't it? So if we rerun this, center coordinates is 0, 0, radius is 1, and x coordinate is 0.5 and y coordinate is 0 inside. I hope you understand this. Now, what is the third case? If I give the point x1, y1, this x1, y1, the other point, if I give here or anywhere on the circle, I am taking here. So this point should be 1, comma 0. X is exactly 1 and y is 0. So the point lies on the circle. So for these inputs, center is 0, 0, radius is 1, then x1 coordinate is 1, y1 is 0, then it is on the circle. So we have seen how the ladder if can be used. I am just taking a pause just to see if anybody has got anything to ask. I hope all of you have understood the code very properly. Just check this. Okay. So we will now proceed to the next thing. Okay. Just check this. This is again example of ladder if. Write a program to input month number M and print the number of days in that month. This is the last example we are solving on ladder if. See, we have to input some number like 1 or 3, month number, and the output should be how many days are there in that month. Suppose operator enters month number as 3, that is month of March. Then number of days are 31 in month of March. But what if operator enters month number as 2? Then we should ask year also. Why? Because month 2, February, sometimes has 28 days, sometimes has 29 days. And it depends on the year. If year is leap year, then number of days are 29. Otherwise, number of days are 28. So you can see here that month number is 2, February, and the year is 2020. Then it is February 2020. It's a leap year. So number of days should be 29. Okay. So how will you think of this? What are the inputs? Yeah. So somebody has given a suggestion. We can use switch statement. There is a statement called switch. Like how we are learning if statement. Now, switch statement was given in C, C++, Java. But Python, oh, I'm sorry, were given. But Python does not have switch statement. Python has only if and nested if. Just make a note of it. Switch statement is not there. Year %4. Somebody said year upon 4 for leap. Good thinking on your part, but it should be year %4. If year %4 is 0, year is divisible by 4, na? So we'll have to use remainder operator, not upon. Okay. So sorry. What I was saying is switch is not there in Python. So we will have to use ladder if. Okay. Okay, sir. Yeah. So now here we go. I will write. You also write this code. Okay. What is the first input? M. M is equal to int. Everybody will agree. Int input. Enter month number. Month number. We may give between 1 and 12. bracket, bracket. Good prompt we have given, so that operator knows that input should be between 1 and 12. Okay, finished. This is the input. Now month number is entered. So as a user, you might enter month number as 5, maybe. M is 5. Then number of days should be 31 because it is month of May. Okay. How will you write this if? See, it's like this. If M is equal to 1, double equal to 1. So what does that mean? Operator has entered value of M as 1. That means operator meant January. So number of days should be 31. But it can be that operator enters M as 3. Operator doesn't enter M as 1, but operator enters M as 3. Then month of 3 also has 31 days. So we will use OR logical operator. Are you following? If M is 1 or M is 3 or M is 5. This is month of May, or M is 7 or M is 8. Remember 7th and 8th month both have 31 days. Or I'll write it on next line. M is 10 or M is 12. 12 means December. Then colon, and we will together write here print days equal to 31. You know, whatever is given in quotation is printed as it is. So days is equal to 31 will be printed. Just imagine you are running the program and you enter M as 4. Then M is 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, M equal to 12. All are false because you entered M as 4. None of them are true. Then complete OR will be false. When is OR true? If at least one condition is true, but here all are false. So M doesn't fit in any one of them. Correct? So days equal to 31 will not be printed if M is 4. So what we will do is we'll write LF. Agreed everyone? LF. LF M is 4. That means April, or M entered by the user is 6, or M entered by the user is 9, or M entered by the user is 11. 11 is November. If any one of this is true, then we will print days equal to 30. But think of this. You are running the program and you enter M as 2. Then M is 2 is not true in any of these ORs. So we land in else if. M is 2 is again not true in any of these OR conditions. So we land in LF. Correct? LF. You may wonder, you may wonder, no need of LF. You may say, sir, you can write directly else, because if M is none of this, then M has to be 2. Correct? So why are you writing LF? You can write else directly. You can assume it is February month. But wait, I will tell you, we can write final else also. So here I am writing LF, month is 2. What if month is 2? How many days does February have? 28 or 29? So we will have to ask the year. Are you following? See, if M is 2, only then we will ask year. Every time you don't ask year. Otherwise, user will go mad. Suppose M entered by the user is 1. That is January. Why you should ask year? Suppose M entered is 4. April. Why you should ask year? Because in any year, in the month of January, 31 days are there. So second input, will be written inside if statement. What we are going to write here is, if M is 2, we'll say now read the year. Why? Let's introduce a variable, new variable Y. Int input enter year. Now you will check, is this year leap? Correct? So you will have if. Now note how if is written indented inside this LF. So are you following? When will this if get checked? when will this if get checked? Only if M is 2. So that's why the second if is inside that elif. Okay, indented. If, how do you write this? If year is divisible by 4, if y% 4 is 0, if this is true, then we will print days equal to 29. It's a leap year, isn't it? Let me check if I can scroll down. Oh, thank God. Okay. But if year is not leap, we will put else. So this is if else here. Print days equal to quotation days equal to 28. Correct? So this becomes for this elif m equal to 2. So you see, this entire portion, this entire portion has been nested inside that elif. So if m is 2, all that indented code will run. What will run? You ask the year. Then you check, is year leap? If year is leap, 29 days. Otherwise, 28 days. Okay. And now finally, if m is not even 2, then we'll write else. Print. Can you guess what we'll write? Print invalid month entered. Invalid month entered. You might say, sir, but we have already said enter 1 to 12 here. But there are some nuts. Operators are always nuts. Sorry, but they will always commit mistake. What if somebody enters 13 as the value of m? Then it is not even 2. So control will go to last else and invalid month entered will be printed. Okay. Just check this. So imagine m entered by the user is 6. Then do you see all these conditions are false? So we'll go to else if, and m is 6. You see this condition is true and or has been used. So days equal to 30 will be printed. Correct. 6th month, that is June, has 30 days. And once the elif becomes true, then the rest of the elif is dropped. So none of these elif or else will be checked. So days equal to 30 will be printed. Okay. This is the program. Yes. Yes, Sunny. Correct. Yeah, Ankit. We could have checked year divisibility by 400 also. I am not discussing that here. Because we will be going into unnecessary discussion of leap years, and there is a lot of quarrel going on in our, society also about this. Okay, but you are correct that there is a complex check for leap year that centennial years should also be divisible by 400 and all that. Centennial years, correct you are. Why we are using or, sir? Yeah, definitely or. You tell me, even while speaking, we will say or. Forget about Python. If I ask you, which months have 31 days? So you'll say 1 or 3 or 5 or 7 or 8 or 10 or 12. Will you say, okay, you're thinking like that. While speaking, we may use and also. Na? So suppose somebody asks, which months have 31 days? So you may say 1 and 3 and 5 and 7 like that. Okay. That's why you are asking why we are not using and, why we are using or. Just tell me, if I give you 1 month number, forget it. If I give you 1 month number, then you will check it using or and. If I give you 5, 5 is the month number. Then will you say that for 31 days, it should be 1 and 3 and 5 and 7 and 8 and 10 and 12. All should be true. Will you say like that? No. You will say, okay, sir has given me 5. So let me check. Is it 1 or 3 or 5? Like that you will say. If it is one of them, then number of days are 31. I hope you understood that. Sir, why does Python not contain switch? Sad, really sad. It doesn't have switch. What to do? The language is designed like that. Okay. So now I want to tell you something interesting here. See, this if statement, becomes so big. This if. So many ors here. We can shorten this. Okay. So many ors. And one more thing. Some people might be thinking, why don't we write like this? M equal to 1 or 3 directly, or 5, or 7, or 8, or 10, or 12, like this. Why we are writing M equal to again and again? And no, it is not that way. See, please try to understand. OR is logical operator and it is used for combining conditions. So this becomes one condition. Then this is a valid and legible condition. This is a correct condition. Only writing 7 is not a condition. So Python is not so intelligent that you're written or 7. So it will say, okay, you were asking is M equal to 5. So Python will automatically put M equal to 7 here. No, that doesn't happen. You'll have to write complete condition like this when you are checking if M is one of them. Any one of them, you will have to write it. Okay, this is one thing. But I was telling this is a very large condition. We can reduce it. Okay. Any suggestions in the chat? How can we reduce this? Oh, I've got the suggestion. There was one question, sir. What happens if the year is 202? What is that? I'm not able to read the remaining thing. More I will this. 202 what? I'm not able to see the next thing. Anyway, 2022. So, if the year is 2022, then 2022 is not divisible by 4. Check. If you divide 2022 with 4, 4 5s are 20, then 0. So we can bring this 2. Then 4 5s are 20. 2 is the remainder. It is not divisible, na? So 2022 is a non-leap year. So it will print 28. 28 it will print. It was month of 2, but the year you entered was not leap. So it will print 28. Correct. 2022 in the month of February had 28 days. Yeah. So we can reduce this. I was saying how we reduce this, huh? See, instead of writing or every time, we can write it like this. If M, so I'm teaching something new now. Concentrate. We can write like this. If M in, then round bracket 1 comma 3 comma 5 comma 7 comma 8 comma 10 comma 12. Then this bracket is closed here, colon. Read this, just general English. Don't treat this as Python. This is English. Read it properly. If M in 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12. Tell me if this was not English class, if this was not Python class, if this was general knowledge or English class, you would have easily understood. That means we are checking if the value of M is any one of this, 1 or 3 or 5. If M is inside this, value of M is 1, then yes, 1 is there. Or if value of M entered is 5, yeah, M is 5. So it is one value in this total values. Then we can print days equal to 30. Similarly, this M is 4, 6, 9, 11 can be written as if M in, but that word in has to be written, okay? M in. If M in bracket 4, 6, 9, 11 bracket close, one more bracket close. Now, if M, value of M lies anywhere, any of this, in any of this, it is 4 or 6 or 9 or 11, you can write this. For this, you don't need anything because you are comparing only with one value, M is 2. And last else, obviously. Last else is invalid month number. But be careful. Huh? This M in you can use only if you are checking M with all these values. I hope you understand. What was your question? Is M1 or M is 3 or M is 5? So M was getting compared. Single variable. was getting compared with lots of values. You can put in. Okay. Huh. There is a question. Uh, there is a question that, sir, you told us shortcut for or. That's the question. You can use in, and in the bracket you can write list of values. Can we do it for and? No. For and you will have to write and, then condition, and then condition. In basically checks whether M is in any of this. Correct? But there is no support for and like that directly in Python. So good question. Here we had or, so we could write that. Okay, fine enough. So I hope you have made a note of this. We have not typed this program. My appeal to all of you is that you can check. I hope you are maintaining a book and you are writing these class notes also. Okay. Today attendance is very low. I don't know whether people are finding this. I mean, at a very preliminary level, maybe, and they are waiting for advanced topics. It happens many times, that some people have already done some quite a number of programming, and then they think that this else if we know. So maybe we will skip today's class and we will join later. But these small little things also I will tell you in between. Okay. Okay. So let's go to the next thing. Okay, I'll just scroll and I'll tell you about what is nested if first. Nested if statement. Now I am not teaching this, okay, to all of you. Let's do an exercise. I will not teach this, but you go through the code. Okay. You can see A is 10, B is 2, and C is 8. Three variables. Then we are asking a question. And what will happen if this question is true? Then whatever is indented will run. And what is indented? This if is indented. So the second if will be checked only if the first if is true. Correct? And now note that if this if is true, then this line will run, print P. Otherwise, if second if is false, then else will run. And then we again have else. This last else is else for the first if. Look how it is properly aligned, and then print R. So my question is, read the code and tell me the total output, entire output you tell me. Do you see print S and print T also? That also will be printed irrespective of if else, because this print S and print T are outside the nest, outside the nested if. I can see the answers flooding. What will be the answer? It will be yeah, PHT. Correct. Absolutely right. PHT is the answer. Correct. So what's happening here is first if is checked, and first if says is 10 greater than 2, which is true. So what will you do if this if is true? You will run all the indented code. Now you note all this portion, is the indented code. This will run. So now you run the second if because it is indented. So second question is asked, only first is true. We are asking is 10 because value of A is 10 greater than 8, which is also true. A is greater than C. So this line will run. Indented statement in the if. So first output will be P, else will not run because if was true. Correct. And now note this inner if is finished because if was true and P was printed. Now this else also will not run. Why? because if was true. This if is true, so its else will not run. And then the control will land in this part and it will print S and T. So PST is the correct answer. Okay. Okay, good. I'll appeal others also to put your reply. Let the chat flood. Okay. Uh, so that I also I will be encouraged and I would know that you are understanding what the nested if is. Okay. Okay, good. So why this is called nested if? Easily because there is a if inside that there is if. Okay. So this is nested if. Let's try again. I have got some other type of exercise. You remember I told you I want all of you to become good readers. In every session, we will have this habit now. What I will do, I will give a problem and then I will give you solution also. I will give you the program. Okay. And there will be a question asked on that program, that are you able to read the program and are you able to understand why this statement is written and so on. So example 11, let ABC be the three sides of the triangle. So we have a triangle and we have ABC, three sides. Then explain the working of the given program if the values of ABC are, first value is 119. So A entered is 1, B entered by the user is 1, and C entered is 9. Then what will happen due to the given program? I hope the question is very clear. Huh? Let's see the program. Here we go. This is the program given. Now you see, we are entering side A, float input, float input. First side of triangle. Then we are entering second side B, third side C. Okay, what is the question saying? See, did you observe? I did not even read the rest of the lines. So think as if that I am reading this for the first time, just like you, and I have not even read the next lines. And I am not bothered what is written after that. Tell me, when you are reading newspaper, are you bothered what is written in the third para? You will obviously read it by merit from first line to last line, isn't it? Same way you have to read the program. And now in the question, it is given that what if user enters A as 1, B as 1 and C as 9? Tell what will happen. Now you have taken the inputs. Now you read the next line. Followed? Okay. Now you just check what is this if. Is A plus B greater than C? We are asking, is 1 plus 1 greater than 9? This is false. Correct? A plus B at the moment, A entered is 1, B entered is 1. 1 plus 1 greater than 9 is false. And observe that we have used and here. So no need of checking rest of the conditions. Because if the first condition itself is false, then anything ANDed with false is false. So this if is false. So that means else should run. Where is the else of this if? This else. Not the indented part. When will this indented part run? This indented part will run only if this if is true, but this if is false. So else will run, and oh my god, I'm so sorry, not this else. I'm so sorry. Just a second. Just a second. My goodness. I'm so sorry. Yeah, what happened? Really? Just a second, huh? Oh, good Lord. I didn't want to do this. Wait a minute. Actually, this is wrong. Huh? Sorry. Okay. Yeah. I'll just correct it. Just a second. Uh, See, this else, is written here. Else print scalene triangle. How this happened, I don't know. Scalene triangle. Okay. And then we have else, last else here. Else colon print not a triangle. Oh my God, not a triangle. Okay. Huh. So where were we? A is 1, B is 1, C is 9. Okay. Now we are checking, is 1 plus 1, A plus B, greater than 9, greater than C? This is false. And has been used. So forget it, the first if is false. If the first if is false, we'll land in else, and then it will print not a triangle. That means whatever user has entered, the three sides user has entered, is not a triangle itself. Wrong sides have been entered. Just tell me what kind of triangle it is. See, this is first side. Let A be 1. So second side is B is 1. Now, how can we see 9? Oh, come on. How can this third side be 9? Can it be a triangle? No. Correct? So we are taking the three sides from the user, and then we are checking whether the three sides genuinely form a triangle or not. Because user can commit mistakes. User can enter any values and say, this is my triangle, but it is not a triangle in the first place. So what do you know about triangle? Geometric rule. Sum of two sides must be greater than third side. Sum of two sides must be greater than third side. Greater, huh? Not even equal. That means A plus B must be greater than C. That is what we have written here. You watch. Here, A plus B should be greater than C. But that is not enough. A plus B should be greater than C, and B plus C should be greater than A, and A plus C should be greater than B. That is, rule applies to all sides. If you take two sides, the sum of those two sides should be greater than third side. So are you following this rule that we have checked here? Let the user enter three sides. Now we are checking if. Now again that has gone. Sorry. Huh? If A plus B is greater than C and B plus C is greater than A and A plus C is greater than B, only then it forms a triangle. Are you following? So in the case of A equal to 1, B equal to 1, C equal to 9, we will get the last else executes. It is not a triangle. Not a triangle. This else is inside here. Okay, what is the second input? Question is asking. Second input is, we will run it for one more input. Rest you can check. 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's check. A is 3, B is 4, C is 5. First, we will check whether user has committed a blunder by entering some invalid sides. Okay. So when is it triangle? When A plus B is greater than C. A plus B. 3 plus 4 is greater than 5. 7 is greater than 5. And just check. And B plus C is greater than A. 4 plus 5 is greater than 3. 9 is greater than 3. And just check this. A plus C is greater than B. A plus C means 3 plus 5. 8 is greater than 4. True, true, true. So it will first go inside the if, because if it's true, it will print it is triangle. Somebody replied in the chat. Okay. First of all, we congratulate the user. Hey, you have entered a triangle. Okay. Then we will check. See this if now. Very interesting. This if is inside this if. Correct? Nested if. What is this if checking? Is A square plus B square equal to C square? I'll write it here. We have written if A square plus B square, is it exactly equal to C square? Oh yes, we are checking for right angle triangle. It is a triangle. We know it is a triangle. But we are checking, is it right angle triangle? Now if you check, 3 square plus 4 square is indeed equal to 5 square. This is 25. This is 25. And we have used OR. You watch here in this condition. We have used OR. Why? Because right angle might be anywhere. No? How do you know only this might be true? We will say OR. Is it true that B square plus C square is it equal to A square? Still it is a right angle triangle. That means now A is the hypotenuse. Here C was the hypotenuse. Because we don't know what are the three sides entered by the user. Then one more or will be there. If a square plus c square is equal to b square, if any one of this is true, then it is right angle triangle. This is the best example, where you can understand or and properly, isn't it? Come on. What if this is false? What exactly? Suppose this is true. So it is a triangle. Then we ask, is it a right angle triangle? But all of them are false. All these conditions are false. That means it is not a right angle triangle. So LF, note, this if is having LF. I'm so sorry. Just a second. Where is my cursor? I lost my cursor. Oh. So this if was true, so it is a triangle, but all these are false. So we land in LZ, and then we check, is A equal to B and B equal to C? We are asking, is A same as B equal to B and B equal to C? Imagine that the sides entered are 3, 3, 3. All are equal. Then A equal to B is true, 3 equal to 3. B equal to C is also true, 3 equal to 3. Then it is an equilateral triangle, isn't it? No wonder you are not thinking, why didn't sir check is A equal to C? Arey, why to check? You can check if you want. You continue, you can check. But it is meaningless to check. Hey, hello, if A is equal to B is true, B is equal to C is true, then obviously A is equal to C is also true. Why you are asking that? Correct? And will be used because all sides, all these conditions should be true for equilateral. Can you then understand LZF? This is for isosceles. If any two sides are equal, A is equal to B or B is equal to C or A is equal to C, then it is isosceles. And this else is written here, else it is scalene triangle. That means it is a triangle, but it is neither of this special type of triangle. And then this if is having last else, colon, print, it is not a triangle. I hope you understood how to read this code. It's really my bad. Actually, this was our first question in the series that we were trying to become readers, and I gave you wrong programs. What a mess I did. Okay. But still, I hope that you understood the code. What the code does, it allows user to enter three sides. Then if the three sides are invalid, it will tell it is not a triangle. And if the three sides are valid, it will say it is a triangle, and it will also check which type of triangle it is. Okay. Yeah, actually, I told that somebody said that please send these notes in the group. Actually, shared it. I'll check with admin. I shared it yesterday only. And I told that you please share it in the group. You will get that. Okay. Today again I will tell them. Hmm? Okay. So now you know what I will tell you in the last part of today's class is I will tell you another control structure, for loop. Okay. And the best way to learn for loop is by directly seeing an example. Here is our first question on for loop. Write a program. This I am writing in short. Write a program to print 1 to 10 numbers, 1 to 10 integers. So simple. When I run the program, output should be 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, up to 10. 1 to 10 should be the output. Okay, let's see how to write this. We will write for x in range 1 comma 11 colon print x. Print x. That's it. This is the Python program. Okay. Now, whenever you learn anything new in programming, like you are learning for, then first try to understand its grammar. But this is the solution. I'll tell you how this runs, what happens. But what is syntax? Syntax of for loop. Just check the syntax. For variable in range, start, stop, increment. This is increment, colon, statement, one. Some statement you imagine, statement two, and any number of statements you can give, but all these statements are indented, correct? Now what happens is this for loop will repeat these lines which are indented. Just compare. My God, what happened? Just compare this grammar, this syntax with this for loop. Okay, trust me, many students, many beginners, have confusion with that range. That I will clarify today. Okay, just check the syntax. For variable. Here we go. Check this. For x. What is that x? Variable. You can use any variable. Here we have used x. You could have written this as for y in range 1 comma 11 print y, because you used y over here, so print y. Any variable you can use. So for variable in, watch, for x is the variable, then in is the word. So what is the first thing? Remember, for variable, after variable in, word in comes. After in, range. So you see, for x in range. Range has bracket, and in the bracket you give three numbers. Three numbers you give separated by comma. First one is start. Now here the start is 1 in our exercise. Second is stop. Stop is 11. And third should be increment. We have not given increment here, you see. We have only given 1 comma 11. One is start. Stop is 11. We have not given increment. If you have not given increment, then by default increment is 1. So I'll write it here. By default, increment is 1. So if you don't give increment, then it is 1. That is what is that grammar of the for loop. Now, inside the for loop, you can write any number of statements. We have written only one statement, print x, and that is indented. Indentation is done. So whatever is indented inside the body of the for loop will repeat. Okay. Now, what does this mean? Read it in plain English. X is a variable, like that. I'll write that statement also. X is the variable which will take, this variable will take values in the range of 1 to 10. Will say, sir, but you have written 1 comma 11. That stop value we have written is 11. But Python will always take one value less than that. So if you write 1 comma 11, then actually Python takes it as 1 comma 10. We have to write 11. Okay. It will take it as 1 comma 10. So how do you read it in English? Variable x should take values from 1 to 10. And every value of x should be printed. Print x we have given it. So what will happen? First time when this loop executes, x will become 1, start value. Then for loop will go inside and print 1 because x is 1. Then again the loop will repeat. Go back. And x will become 2. When x is 2, again this line will execute because it is indented. So it will print 2 because x is 2. Then again the loop will go back. It will make x as 3 and it will run this indented code. So 3 will be printed. Again it will go back. This goes on. Okay. So when x becomes 10, 10 also will be printed. And then the loop goes back and x becomes 11. Listen very carefully. X becomes 11, but when x becomes 11, the loop stops. So this is actually stop value, isn't it? That's why it is known as stop value. Indirectly we are saying x, when you become 11, you stop, like that we are saying. X, when you reach 11, when you become 11, then the loop should stop. Then print x should not be done. So 11 will not be printed. Are you following why it is known as stop value? When x is 1, it will print 1 because 1 is not 11. It should stop at 11. Then loop repeats, x becomes 2. 2 is not 11. It has not reached 11. So it will print 2. This goes on. When x will become 10, even 10 is not 11. So it has not reached top value. So it will print 10. Then when x will become 11, the loop will break. Because 11 is the stop value. So simple. I'll just go to Python idle. I'll take your questions if you're thinking about some more things. Okay. But I'll just override this trial.py. Huh? Here we go. For x in range 1 comma 11 colon and then print x. You see, did you observe one thing? That for loop also ends with colon, like if ends with colon. And because we have given colon, when I hit enter, what will happen? Cursor is indented. And don't disturb it now. Now we will put print x. So obviously, this line will be repeated by the for. If I ask you how many times it will be repeated, how many times that print x will be repeated, you can answer like this. It will be repeated when x is 1. It will run. When x is 2, it will run. When x is 3, it will run. But when x is 11, it will not run. When x will become 11, print x will not run. Loop will break. So suppose after this, I outdent. And if I put print done like this. Are you following that this print done will not run for each value of x? Because it is outdented. Whatever is indented in the for loop is in the boundary of the for loop. So what this for says, I will make x as 1, then I will print 1 because x is 1, then I will go back. I am repeating that statement print x because it is indented. X will become 2, 2 will be printed. Next, x will become 3, 3 is printed. And when x will become 11, then the loop will break. When the loop breaks, then the rest of the program runs. So if any number of lines are written after this, those lines will run only when the loop breaks. Are you then following? The output of this will be 1 to 10, 11 won't be printed, and then done will be printed. So let's try to save and run this. Yes, all values from 1 to 10, and then done is printed. So done was not repeated. Just imagine, for fun, I take it inside. You just take this. Print x, then print done. And then here, I'll say print finally done. Something I have written. So are you then following that when x is 1, what will repeat when x is 1? Whatever is indented will repeat. So this print will execute. It will print 1 because x is 1. Then it will print done also. Then the loop will go back. X will become 2. 2 is printed. Then done is also printed. Both the lines will repeat now for x equal to 1, x equal to 2, x equal to 3, x equal to 9, x equal to 10. Both these lines will execute. But for x equal to 11, these two lines will not execute, loop will break, and finally done will be printed. So what will be the output? 1 done, 2 done, 3 done, 4 done, up to 10 done, and then finally done. Let's check. Yes, exactly. 1 done, 2 done, 3 done, and then finally done. Finally done was outside the for loop, outdented. Have you become readers? Have you read this? Okay. Oh, okay. I'll come to your question. Somebody has asked, what if we want all the outputs horizontally on one line? I'll come to that. Huh? There is one word called end, which we can use in print. Later we will see. Sir, what data type variable takes? Good question. Pranay is asking, what data type does this variable X take? Okay. I repeat the question. Question is, X is a variable, and you know variable must be of some data type like int, float, string. Variable is always having some data type. So question asked is, what will be the data type of X? You see, the rule of Python is that whenever you use this variable with range in the for loop, then the data type of that variable is always integer. Okay, let me show you something. I'll write this range like this. Range 1.5, comma 11.5. Take your own time. Take your own time. What is this 1.5 in the range? Start. This is start. This is 11.5, stop. Correct? And one more thing should be given, increment. We have not given increment. So what is the increment by default? 1. If you don't give increment, then increment is 1. So anybody would now feel that, okay, X will become 1.5. And when X is 1.5, it has not reached 11.5. It has not reached top value. So it will enter the loop and it will print 1.5. It will print done, then go back. Then X was 1.5. Now X will become 2.5. Increment by 1. Increment by 1, na? Increment is 1. So 2.5. Then it will go inside. It will print 2.5. Then done. That's what anybody would feel or think. But the rule is that range can be used only with integer start, integer stop, and integer increment. I'll run this. Let's see what happens. What it is giving is type error. I hope I have told you that whenever errors are shown in Python, read the last line of the error. There's the best way to understand the error. Last line you read. Okay, type error. Float object cannot be interpreted as integer. That means it wants that in the range you should give integer value. Then you would say, oh, sir, then how will we solve that problem? If you want to print 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, up to 10.5, how will we solve this? Don't worry, we can solve that using while loop. Second type of loop. But with for loop, that range must be using only integers. So data type of X, the question was, what should be the data type of X? Data type of X will be integer because we can write only integer values here. I hope I have clarified your doubt. It was a very genuine one. Okay. We check. Yeah. Yes, correct. End is equal to quote. Your question was, but I will tell this later on. I just don't want to go into that details of end equal to quote. Okay. And for those who are thinking that 1.5, 2.5 and so on, won't be the output. It will be error. Okay. No, there is no such float X in range or anything like that. No such format. Range always takes only integer value. Okay. Okay. So basic grammar we have understood. Okay. Now I am making one small change here. Just check. Use the knowledge of English and answer. What will happen if I have written this code and I have given comma 2 here? Just read this. And how you will read this in English? You will say X will take value 1. And then wait, you should now read like this. Listen very carefully. X has taken value 1 and 1 is not 11. So X has not reached the stop. Stop is 11, X is 1. Correct? So it should print X. So 1 will be printed. Then will this line run print done? No, not yet. Print done will be executed only when loop stops because it is outdented. So it will print 1. Then the loop will go back and it will say X should now take next value in the range. but we have given increment is 2. So x will become 3. Last time x was 1. Now x will become 3. And 3 will be printed. Then x will become 5. 5 is printed. Then 7. Then 9. Correct? 9 is also printed. After that, 9 plus 2, 11. When x becomes 11, it has reached the stop value. So 11 won't get printed, loop will stop, and done will be printed. That's how range can be written with 3 things. See, why we did not write this last time? Because increment was 1. We could have written comma 1 and wasted our time. But if you know that increment is 1, don't waste your time in writing 1. If increment is something else, you write it. Okay? So I'll just run this. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 and then done. All right? Okay. Now, my question to the entire class. Let me check. We are coming very close to the end of the session. Okay, Xiaomi. I will come to all those things. Xiaomi is saying that increment can be float. Okay, I'll come to all those points. Let's first of all, understand with integer range only. Yeah, let's try to understand that range with integers. Okay, I got a lot of things to discuss. My question to the entire class is, what will happen if I give for loop like this? 10, comma 1 like this. See, that means 10 is start and 1 is stop. See, the first value is start. No? So I'm saying x, you start with 10 and x, you should stop when you become 1. When you become exactly 1, break the loop. So my question is, what will be the output of this code? What if we write 1.5 in the... my appeal to all of you is don't think of floats for some time. I'll tell you that. Let's understand range properly. Yeah? Okay. First answer I got is it prints 10 to 2, sir. Okay. Nothing is the second answer. Done. Then error. Empty. Done. Only done. Okay. Lot of answers I got. Okay. Now, again, back to English. What you are saying? X, please start from 10. And X, you should stop when you become 1. When will X stop? When it exactly becomes 1. And how will X start? With 10. Correct? X will start with 10 and X should stop when it reaches 1. And what is the increment? Come on. What is the increment? 1. Please, increment is 1. Positive 1. Correct? Because we are not given increment, it is 1. Okay. Now talk in English. X will become 10. Agreed? So think for some time that 10 is printed. Chalo. Think. Because first X is 10, so 10 is printed. Then the loop goes back. Correct? What should X become? 9. Will it become 9? Will X become 9? What is the increment? What is the increment? 1. So X will become 11. Are you understanding? Increment by default is 1. So X was 10. Now X will become 11. So think that 11 is printed. Then X will become 12. 12 is printed. 13, 14, 15. It will never reach 1. It will never reach the stop value. Are you following? If you are going from 10 and increment by 1, increment by 1, increment by 1, it will go till infinity. It will not reach 1. I hope you are understanding. Then Python will not entertain this loop. Python says that you are given an invalid range where you are saying, Python says you are telling me to start from 10 and go up to 1. And that too in increasing order. I can't go from 10 to 1 in increasing order. Okay, I tell you, I ask you, start from 10 and go up to 1, but in increasing order. From 10 you go to 11, then 12, then 13, then 14. But you should stop when you reach 1. You'll say, what, sir? How can we reach 1? We'll go till infinity. Then Python will simply not execute this loop at all. and it will directly print done. It will not give any error. It will say, I can't run this loop. I can't go from 10 to 1 in increasing order. It will simply print done. Let's confirm. Check, check. Just ignore this. Okay, I'll run the program again. Some other key got pressed. Okay, just check. Only done is the output. So the loop never executed. So nothing was the correct answer. Or some student said none. Sorry, done. Only done will be printed. Okay. Yes, 1 is the end. Correct. 10 also won't get printed. It will not entertain the loop only. Yeah. Decrement can be -1. Correct. Correct. Absolutely right. Okay. Infinite loop nahi hoga. No, not infinite loop. Good thinking on your part. It won't be infinite. Okay. It says I can't go from 10 to 1. No. It understands that range. In positive increment, I can't go. Okay. So what if we put here comma -1 as suggested by many, comma -1. Now what we are saying, x, you begin with 10 and you are not yet reached 1. 1 is the stop value. So you begin with 10 and then print 10. Then go back. X, you decrease by 1. So last time you were 10, now you become 9. And 9 is also not 1. You are not reached stop value. So 9 printed. Then x will become 8. 8 is also not 1, not reached the stop. So it will be printed and so on. And 2 also will be printed. But after 2, x will become 1 and 1 is the stop value. So it stops. 1 is not printed. 10 to 2 will be printed and then done will be printed. Just check. Yes, 10 to 2 and then done. No, it was not an error, Xiaomi. It was not an error. See, Python simply says, I am not executing the for loop. That's all. It will just ignore that for loop. This one. You are asking about previous question. It is not an error. Python says, this range is invalid. I am not running the for loop, but I will execute next line like that. It doesn't report any error. Just check the previous program again, 10 to 1. Okay. I hope he got it or she got it. It's a logical error. Correct. It's a logic error. Absolutely. Then comma -1. I hope you got this. Huh? Negative increment. So before we end today's session, just tell me, what will this for loop do? Just check. Suppose I write for x in range, let's say 25, comma 5, comma -5. Print x. So what will be the output? Overall output. I'm waiting on the chat. 25, comma 5, comma -5. Can you go from 25 to 5 in decreasing order? Yes. So Python says, I will run this for loop. And somebody used that word logical. It seems logical. Yeah, it's logically correct. So it will run this loop. Correct? I know many answers are there. Will 5 get printed? Just think over it. Yeah, Manaswini has said 25, 20, 15, 10. Correct. And many others have written up to 10, but some others have written up 5 also. But 5 is the stop value. So it will stop at 5. Samanata has, no, Samatha has also given. Maulika, correct. Ankit, you are correct. Others, that names I am not able to read out. Balakrishna, 5 won't be printed. Pranay, 5 won't be printed. Kundan has given correct answer. Okay, lot of answers. That's right. Ravinder also correct. See, you can go from 25 to 5 in decreasing order. So this is logical. So 25, then 20, then 15, then 10, and then what will happen after 10? X will become 5, and 5 is the stop value. So the loop breaks. Now whatever you written next will run now. I hope you understood. Okay. So we will continue next time. On Monday, I will resume with for loop, and I will tell you fantastic companion of for loop, while loop. There we will complete the control structure, and then we will go to somewhat advanced programming like list, tuple, set, dictionary, and all that. Okay.